So the party is currently in El Terrell after it was sent to Hell, and the party is now in Hell on El Terrell, trying to figure out what's going on. You are currently in the High Hall, which is the cathedral to Torm and other various gods, but mostly to Torm. You fought off a couple of hellhounds. You found a druid to Sylvanas, who was trapped after some battle with devils. You met an Abishai, who was a servant of Tiamat, who sensed the presence of Tiamat's treasure on Ruin, asking for it back. And the party did not want to give it back, so they killed the Abishai and his cultists. So the party has to deal with Tiamat now. You found the catacombs under the High Hall, where you found a monument to, not really monument, it's a grave of sorts to a chosen of Torm. You also spoke to Uldur Ravengard, the commander of the Flaming Fist, who told you you need to go and find a special relic, the Helmet of Torm, and the helmet would tell you how to save El Terrell. The helmet is currently located in the cemetery. And that's where we stopped last time. You arrived at the cemetery and you were being attacked by some Minotaur skeletons.
Cliffhanger!
Does anyone have any questions about what I explained?
No, sir.
I know I intend, or did, depending on where we're starting the fight, I cast Protection from Evil and Good on Takari because she seems very excited to get into the fray.
She is. She's very excited. Blood for the blood god.
I just have this like sneaking suspicion that we could potentially be up shit creek without a paddle. Just a thought.
It's fine.
I would love a paddle anytime.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
If you had Umberly in your corner and you worshipped her, I bet you'd feel safer.
Oh, Jesus.
Looks like they're big dudes.
Yes. Last time I said that you were being attacked, like immediately, but we're going to still do the turn order, so.
How can a guy have so much anxiety doing just initiative rolls?
Oh boy.
We have a Minotaur skeleton in the chapel. There's also one more south on the patio, and then you also, approaching, you saw a Minotaur skeleton patrolling, which has not noticed the party yet.
Wow, look at those rolls. Damn it, Nigel.
Coming in hot.
I think that was a very nice 5. It's very good.
Playing the part of Ruin this afternoon will be Nigel.
Okay, so one thing I'm changing up for combat is all the enemies that are similar will go at the same time.
Okay.
But we're starting with Takari, so go ahead.
All right, Takari's gonna. She's gonna move first here. And she's just, she's just gonna pew pew. Heading for for red. Wow, thank God for that advantage roll. I'm assuming that hits Dura.
Do you have advantage?
Yes, I have advantage against undead.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yes, it hits.
Nice. And she'll hit again. Oof. Does that 15 hit?
It does. These guys
Okay.
do not have any sort of armor,
Oh,
so they're going to be
great.
hit quite easily.
Nice. Very good. We'll get wrecked. And then she's going to send... Sorry, I'm just looking at his movement rate. He's got 40 feet. Okay. Yeah, she's going to send Reginald right to red as well. And snip, snap.
All right, Reginald, he moves in and grabs onto the skeleton's leg.
Good.
All right, Argos, go ahead.
Okie dokie, I'm gonna step back a little bit. And I'm gonna do a good old-fashioned longbow attack.
The undead minotaurs are gonna be immune to fire?
So that hits. And then
Yes.
I will do a bonus action planar warrior. So that's gonna be force damage.
Okay, force damage.
And I believe I have do I get sneak attack since for Reginald?
Yes, it is within 5 feet of an enemy, so yes.
Okay. Because I can just do that whenever, right? If he's within 5 feet.
Yes.
Okay, well I'll do my second attack and then I'll do the sneak attack. Wait, do I do sneak attack for each one?
Yeah,
You can only use the sneak attack once per turn.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. I'll do the sneak attack damage real quick. Nice. And then my second attack.
I'm pretty sure you get a 2d6 on level 1 sneak attack, if I'm right. Could be wrong. But anyways, let me see. Okay.
Level 1 sneak attack? Because I'm a rogue level 1.
I could be wrong.
I think it's 1. I think I only,
Okay.
it scales with level, I think.
You're right. It is 1. Okay. So, you did a bunch of damage there. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Strong.
Strong.
26 damage total.
And that will be my turn. Just gonna hang back.
Okay, so we'll have red attack Nigel with its great axe.
Nigel or Reginald?
I don't know why I do that. I meant Reginald.
They sound similar.
I vote next crab is named Nigel.
Second.
It's gonna happen. What's Nigel backwards?
Leggin.
Leggin. I'm gonna name it
Leggin. Oh, little Leggin.
Little Leggin.
The blue Minotaur skeleton will be charging at Takari. It runs at you at a quick pace with its horns lowered.
That is unfortunate, Durham. Why would you do such a thing to me?
You just happen to be the only thing close enough.
Touche. Does not hit.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, that would have been really devastating.
Don't forget, Takara, they have disadvantage on their attacks on you as well.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Okay, the one patrolling is moving up as well. It is aware of you guys now, but it won't be able to do anything else. All right, Belgara, go ahead.
Would I know if these guys are resistant to fire or not?
So you could do a, let's see. You could do Arcana or Religion check.
What do I know?
Okay, you at least know they're not resistant or immune to fire.
Woohoo! All right, cool. So I am going to cast Firebolt. I am going to use a sorcery point to twin that spell as well. Oh my god, I was so close. That's going on red and blue.
Nice, okay.
Ew.
Takari's face when she sees Blua just catch up in flames in front of her.
Hee.
The firebolt sets the red Minotaur on fire, which causes its bones to turn to ash.
I bet that smells great.
Something I forgot to do, I need Takari to roll a strength check.
Oh! Okay.
So, from the force of the charge, you are knocked back 10 feet and are knocked prone.
What does that mean for my next turn?
So, if you want to stand up, it takes half your movement.
Okay.
But you also have the prone condition, which causes melee attacks to attack with advantage.
So if Blue were to attack me next, then he would have advantage on me.
Yes, if you're on the floor.
Right, okay.
All right, Ruin.
Takari, by the way, I don't know, maybe you still have a point of inspiration if you wanted to re-roll your...
No, I used it last time.
Oh, okay.
But thank you, though.
Yeah.
All right.
You go before the Minotaurs, so...
Ruin's moving up to engage blue. And first thing he's going to do is going to stab with his lightning trident.
Nice.
Wow.
It's the first time I've hit with that, so what you guys will notice, since that's the first time, is as soon as he hits him, a little bit of electricity runs along the staff and then discharges itself into the Minotaur for some extra damage. And then I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon and put it right behind blue. Bonk him with that.
God, I love spiritual weapons so much.
I have that for my ASMR in my homebrew game. I'm very excited to use it.
And that will be my turn.
All right, good turn. It is Rhea's turn. She'll move up next to Ruin. And we'll just strike with her longsword.
Thanks.
All right, Nigel, you're up.
Nigel's going to activate his Rod of Delusions and Firebow at blue.
Roll for damage.
That's the piercing, and we have a D10 for psychic. Nice. And I get 3d6 of sneak attack.
All right, 17 damage. Nice.
Nigel's going to run. Is this like a ruined fountain over to Nigel's right?
Yes.
Nigel's going to run up there and hide behind this thing. That would be like a stealth check, but I don't know if it really matters. I'll roll it anyway.
Okay. Takari, go ahead.
Okay, well, Takari, she's gonna get up and she'll stay where she is. And I can still fire off my bow twice, yeah?
Yes.
Nice. Alright, then she'll go ahead. And not firing into combat isn't the same as 22E as it is in 5E. I can fire into combat without issue.
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, we're spoiled in 5e.
We are. Well, Creep knows my history of firing into combat in 1E.
Yeah, you can only do that if you're like a fucking wizard and you're nonchalantly dropping fireballs on people, but I wouldn't know anything about that.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
They didn't change that until 5e. Or 4e. I didn't play it, so.
Alright, I'm assuming that doesn't drop them.
It does, in fact.
Oh, nice.
That was clean.
That was very clean.
You are in range of the last one.
Oh, okay, sorry. Alright. We're doing it.
That will hit.
It does, okay. You were right about the AC. And then Takari's gonna send Reginald as far as he can go. Let's see what that is.
That will be 80 feet. If you want to dash.
Oh, hi, everybody.
What is the disadvantage or benefit to dashing?
Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome, Raiders.
Dashing
What's up?
speed, but you can't do any other
We just started our Descent into Avernus game. So everybody get some snacks, something to drink, and settle in. Let's hang out. We're killing skeleton minotaurs right now.
Cast pace to make it a hyper.
Scottish Chef, thank you. Thank you for the resub. 4 months. Hell yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello. It's good to see you. It's good to be seen. Oh. Hey, everybody. Oh, Lexfire, thank you for the hydrates. Hello. If you guys don't know, I'm Darling Creepshow. I'm your resident creep. I play D&D and I paint D&D miniatures. Sometimes I put on lipstick and I play RPGs and yell at NPCs. Ooh. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Gostumba. Yeah. I'm a wiener, baby. But yeah, I'm gonna turn up my buddies again and settle in. Let's play some D&D, guys.
Oh, that's a crit.
Oh shit. Aragot just got a crit. Big old critties.
Bonus action planar warrior. Sorry, I have a lot of things that click now. I don't know where they are. Okay, and I think I have Orcish Fury that I can use, which I can roll the damage for the bow again, if I hit. I don't roll twice, right? I only roll the 1 dice for the damage.
Let me see. You hit with an attack. You roll one of the weapon's damage dice an additional time, and add it as extra damage.
Okay. I'll click the longbow. Hopefully it doesn't roll 2. Actually, hold on a second. So it's 1d8, right? I'll just roll regular dice.
Yes.
So there's another 7 damage. Plus 2, I believe.
So roll another 1d8 for your. Actually, no, Zephyr Strike going to get doubled.
What was that? Oh, I'm sorry. No, that wasn't supposed to be Zephyr Strike. Yeah, it was. That was supposed to be. I clicked the wrong one. That was supposed to be a bonus action planar warrior. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, all that damage is force damage. Am I supposed to double that planar warrior damage or no?
No.
Okay.
Alright, Minotaur Skeleton's turn. It will charge at Reginald.
Yeah, I figured.
So I will do this.
Oh, Reginald, no.
Plus. So that's just the base damage, and the charge adds an extra 2d8 damage.
Rip.
So
Yeah, that's probably
Reginald
different.
takes 23 damage total.
Ooh, he's got 2 HP left. He's fine.
And then I need Reginald to make a strength saving throw.
All right. Is it just a D20 then that I'm rolling? Because I don't have a. Well, maybe. Hold on. Oh, I can roll for him this way.
Okay, Reginald is pushed back 10 feet and is prone.
Dang it. Poor Reginald.
All right, Belgara.
All right, let's see how far I can move up first. I'm gonna move up to right behind Ruin. Why is that line staying there?
You still have the
Okay, there we go.
ruler
Oh,
on.
fixed it. I didn't realize if you hold shift while you click the line, it stays. Alright. I'm gonna shoot a firebolt at Green. And try to ruin his whole day. No whammy, no whammy. Does that hit?
Yeah, you're gonna ruin his day.
Good.
Wow. Wow. Three-hole damage. Watch out, guys. I'm crazy.
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 Dangerous lady.
Threw a match at him.
Yeah, basically.
You blew hot breath on him.
Ruin, it's your turn.
All right, Ruin's going to move up to there, and then he's going to cast Toll the Dead. Wisdom save for you, and then can you move
They're not very wise.
Yeah, works for me. Can you move my spiritual hammer just up next to him, sort of behind him or somewhere? Then I'll bash him with that.
Whack him.
Oh.
Ooh, nice.
Crit on the hammer. 14 damage.
And that'll be my turn.
Oh, there you are.
Ray will be dashing up. And that's her turn. Nigel.
Hey, Van Wick Man, thank you for the follow. Welcome.
I do not believe you're within range with a short bow, though.
Welcome to the cult. Not a
Not
cult.
currently.
But have some
I
Kool-Aid.
could use my cunning action though. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Let's see. Looks like I can get there. I'm going to use these stairs as cover. And now I should be in range of this Minotaur. Yep, I'm in range. Alright, gonna fire my bow. Poopy. And I'm going to hide, assuming that misses.
Yes.
So
So
now
these,
just... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
these are pillars right here you could hide behind.
Oh, okay, I can hide behind those. Okay, yeah, I'll back up a little bit and hide behind one of these pillars.
Alright, it is Dakari's turn.
Dakari's big mad. He hurt her crab. She wants blood. Blood god. I'm assuming that hits.
Skeletons don't have blood, so
Well, it's
I don't know what you're doing.
well, there is blood inside of your bones, so
Yeah, scoop out the marrow. You know?
yeah. So how about that?
Depends on how long he's been a skeleton, though.
Yeah, it's fair.
You just pick up a bone, you suck the marrow out. Like
Yeah.
straw.
Delicious.
Mmm.
You guys should come over to my side soon.
No. I'm assuming he's not dead yet.
No, not yet.
All right.
No, he's undead.
We're gonna have to re-dead him.
All right. Well, she's gonna hit him again. I know that hits. Is he still alive?
Yay!
No, you sever its spinal column with your arrow, and it falls over
Nice.
dead.
Sexy.
Whatever dead is to undead.
More dead. Extra dead.
Double dead.
Dead part 2, electric boogaloo. Alright, Takari will recall Reginald if we're out of combat.
You gonna call him?
Yeah, I'm gonna recall him. He's gonna have a really good recall. Good crab.
A total recall?
Yeah. How'd you know?
I'm gonna need to see that crab. I'm gonna need to count its boobs.
And don't say something about when I'm drinking.
Don't make me count your crab's boobs.
Hew.
All right. Where do you guys want to go now? Do you want to go into the cathedral or the chapel itself, or would you want to explore the grounds?
I vote explore the grounds. I was going to ask actually if there's any windows to the cathedral.
Yeah, I kind of want to do a roundabout on the outside, see if there's anything. Probably in the stealth mode, just in case.
Paragoth, maybe you and I stealth mode, do a bit of scouting.
And if you guys are looking like you're going to stealth off ruins, just going to stand at the steps and wait.
Probably for the best.
Probably should have done, yeah, I don't want to use a spell slot for that right now. Alright, I'm gonna browse the grounds.
Takari, is the door to the cathedral open?
Yes.
Alright, can Takari just, like, peek her head inside?
Yeah. So,
I'm just gonna put it right there.
okay. Do you see anything to your south at all?
No, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, watch me walking around, Nigel. You, I think, clipped through the wall there.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Is my vision turned on?
It should be.
Isn't Rhea supposed to know where we're going?
Yes. All right. Nigel, wait there.
Waiting.
Okay. Yeah, she knows where she's going, but I know you guys like to do your own thing, so I gave you an option.
I'm just standing next to Ruin, minding my own business, trying not to look him in the eye.
Ruin's just standing next to you, minding your business.
Oh, fucking Jesus.
Oh, God.
Okay. Nigel, as you're walking around the chapel, you find a deep hole in the ground filled with a putrid purple mist. The haze
That's not
filling the
sus.
hole blocks any sense of how deep it might be or what might be lying within.
Okay. On my trek over here, did I happen upon any windows that I could peek into the cathedral?
So there's one directly to the north of you, but it is not. It is a stained glass building or a stained glass window. You also saw a door. Let's see. I'll just put you next to it. There's a door right next to you here.
Ooh, a back door. Okay. Can I try the lock to see if it's unlocked? I'm not going to open it. I just want to know if it's locked.
Sure, you can try the lock. It is locked.
Okay, it is locked. All right. Maybe pick that. I don't want to mess with that hole right now. I'm going to make a circle around the circle back, complete my circuit around the building.
Okay.
To everyone else.
You also, just directly south of that hole, you find a small building.
Oh, it feels so nice.
It is windowless, but there is a door right next to you.
It's a small building. Is there any windows on this thing?
No.
Okay, can Nigel look through the keyhole on the door?
Sure. So within you see a bed and a nightstand. And it appears to be occupied by a man at a nearby desk. I want you to roll, let's see. Are you proficient with religion?
Proficient? Don't think so. No, I'm not.
Okay. The man is wearing blue and orange clothing.
Okay. Alright, I'm not gonna mess with this right now. And going to continue on my way back to the party now.
Okay.
Ah, there they are. Alright.
Ruin, are you still concentrating on this weapon?
Yeah, but by the time it takes him to go all the way around the building, I'm sure it'll be gone.
Spiritual weapon is not concentration.
Oh, it's not. That's right.
It is not. It just exists for its time period, and it no longer exists.
Yeah, it's still going to be gone because it only lasts for a minute. Thanks for the reminder, though. I forgot about the concentration part.
Yeah, it's awesome because then you can cast other spells that are concentration.
Well, everyone, I wasn't able to get any intel on the inside of our cathedral here, but I found out that there's a back door. It might be more prudent to go through the back door, I imagine. Also, there's a giant hole filled with purple mists. Looks honestly quite terrifying. And we've got a friend in a small building back there, wearing purple and yellow robes. Does that ring a bell for anyone?
I meant to say blue and yellow, but Rhea does speak up. That sounds like Gideon. I'm surprised he survived this long. What could he still be doing in his hovel?
Looked like he was writing something. He was by a desk.
I fear he has something to do with this rising of undead.
That's no good. Should we stop him? Take him prisoner?
Does that mean we have to keep an eye on their graves around here? They look a bit fresh.
I could sneak in there and probably surprise him pretty quickly and easily.
Did you say something about a strange mist?
Oh, that little hole thing. Yeah, there's a giant hole in the back. I think I'm getting, Eldritch horror vibes from it.
Belgara looks to Aragoth and says, "Well, I believe we may have found one of your tunnel or your portals." Just a thought.
Yeah, it is somewhere in the graveyard. I didn't try sensing it since I've gotten here. I figured it's around here somewhere. What makes you sure that it's eldritch?
Oh, I have no idea. The fact that it's purple.
Okay. Ergoth is
I-
kind of pale at the thought of an eldritch portal.
Hey, let's all lose our fucking minds today. Fun.
Yeah.
Takari is eager to dip a toe in the crazy pool.
Nothing like a little insanity for dinner.
Were you able to get any information from this end?
Yeah, does Takari see anything when she peeks in?
Not immediately.
Belgara looks to Rhea. Oh, sorry.
You see a curtain here and a bunch of debris.
Okay.
I think you do have to change my vision settings, Duro, because the shadows aren't changing for me. I'm gonna pop
Belgar,
in that real quick.
I didn't have vision on for you. Sorry.
so Nigel kind of scratches his beard and says, "Well, the back door is locked. I could pick that lock. I don't know. Belgar, what do you think? What should we do? In the front or in the back?"
Wow. Well, that's an aggressive question.
Forward.
Bit forward. Belgara looks to Rhea and says, well, where should we go? You're the one who knows this place. I trust your call on this.
If my memory serves me correctly, underneath the chapel is where they store different artifacts. I am sure it's there.
Well, that hole goes down, so
Into purple mist. Yes?
Just behind those curtains, there's a staircase that we can climb down.
Yes, I believe I would much prefer the staircase to the purple mist hole. I mean, we could always toss the crab in and see if he comes back.
Takari visibly vibrates at the thought and very quickly shoots Belgara a warning glare.
Don't worry, darling. You could always just recall him.
Takari, she softens a little bit, but she looks between Belgara and Reginald. She shakes her head no rapidly.
Well, I hope that one day, if the choice comes between us and a crab, you do choose your friends over a crab. But let's carry on to the staircase.
oh, do you mind if I go and pick the lock in the back really quick? It could be useful to have a second exit in case we need to make our way quickly out the back.
I don't see why not. You're quite good at not being seen.
Okay, Duro. Nigel's going to make his way back to the rear of the cathedral. Oh, actually, I wanted to run this by everyone. What about our friend in the hovel? Maybe we should stop him from what he's doing, and at the very least, we could get some information from him about what's in this cathedral.
That's a good point. We might want to make sure everything's clear where we are before we venture further.
I think I missed this. Friend in the hovel? What's this?
So Nigel explained that there's a small building in the back, and this appears to be someone that Rhea knows. I forgot what his name was. Rhea was suspicious. Gideon. So we could go grab Gideon, because he's pretty sus right now.
I mean, I could give him a good pry if he doesn't speak. Go check it out. Everybody, how do you feel?
Could you enter his mind without him knowing?
Only surface level. They always know when I start digging. Kind of grins.
We should try that.
Okay, I could show you where he's at.
Alright, well, if gets ready to follow you.
Alright, Takari will follow along.
It was here. Nigel's going to stealth and try to open the door slowly.
Okay. Nigel jiggles at the door and finds that it is locked.
Nigel's going to inspect the lock for like if there's any booby traps in there.
Okay, roll a perception check. Nigel does not find any sort of trap.
All right, gonna try to pick the lock.
Ooh.
Gonna re-roll that with a luck point. Does that work?
Nigel jiggles around with the lock, and he feels that it has opened.
Now that it's open, I'm just going to slowly open the door. And sneak up on this person with the dagger. He's going to put it at his throat from behind.
All right, let me set the scene for you. This simple building contains a bed, a desk, a dresser, a table, and chairs. Much of the furniture has been destroyed, with decorations and other items strewn haphazardly across the room, including holy symbols of Lathander, Torm, Helm, and Tyr. A large tome appears to have survived the destruction. You see the man, once described as Gideon, appearing to be writing in a small journal.
One minute you're journaling, the next minute you're getting mugged. Life is hard.
Say lobby.
Yeah, like so very stealthily, Nigel from behind will be like raising the dagger to this guy's throat and has him at like kill range, I guess. And says, Gideon, hey, long time no see. I've got some friends outside here waiting for us. Why don't you follow me?
Gideon stands up from his desk, hands clenched in a fist. What do you want of me, boy?
I don't know, I just want you to meet my friends. he's
what he
pretty
looks
looking.
like.
He looks very friendly.
Yeah, he doesn't look possessed at all.
Nope, not even a little bit possessed. Why would you even bring that up? That's so weird you would bring that up, that he might not be possessed, because he's definitely not.
Gideon, why don't you explain yourself to Rhea, who's with us?
Gideon gives you a mean stare with his pointing his eyebrows sternly at you. He gives a quick about face and steps out of his small hut.
When he steps out, Nigel's going to look at what he was writing on the table.
It describes a dream he had in which an angel came to him speaking of demons coming to El Terrell and his need to stop them at all costs.
Stop the angels?
Stop the demons.
Oh, stop the demons. Okay. He needs to stop the demons at all costs coming to Elton. All right. I'm just going to take this paper and do a quick look around the room. You said everything else was like destroyed in here.
Yes.
Well, it's worth a look. There's a nightstand next to the table. Is there anything on it, like a drawer?
A holy symbol to Lathander.
Okay. Anything under the bed?
No. It appears this room at one point was used by someone who was strictly devoted to their worship and wouldn't have any things, material things.
Okay. Now just going to follow Gideon then out of the room.
Belgara's going to approach Gideon, but still leave some distance between the two of them because he looks a little bit scary, to be honest. And she's gonna say to him, do you mind telling us how one ends up locked in a cell in a cemetery, Gideon? Or was he locked? He locked himself in there. Am I just being
He locked
stupid?
himself in there.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I'm just being stupid.
That's fair, Belgara. It does look like a cell.
It does. Okay, so we're gonna change that, and she's gonna say, basically ask the same question, but like, why are you in this cemetery, living in this room? What are you doing here?
While Belgar is asking him that, Nigel's going to slide a hand and pick this dude's pocket too.
Shocking.
You find a small symbol to Lathander, a necklace. Which is just a silver sun. As for Belgar's question, Gideon says, "Why should I answer your questions?
I guess that's a fair question.
Because she asked nicely.
I mean, we could always go about it the hard way if you prefer. But I always like to give people a chance. Seems fair.
Gideon raises his hands. Parlay.
Ergoth scoffs at it and says, "Sure. What are the conditions of your parlay?"
Destroying the demons is my singular focus. Baphomet has been sending his Minotaurs through a portal in the crypt below. By all means, close it, and I will not bother you.
Can I ask you a question? I know you're against the demons. Does that mean you're working for the devils?
Could I roll to see anything, to see if I know anything about his religion?
Sure, go ahead. Roll religion. Are you proficient with religion?
I'm not, no.
I would say you could, because Lathander's like probably the biggest religion out there.
Okay. Like, roll advantage?
Sure, go ahead.
That was a poop roll. Oh, man.
Much better.
That was
Much better. I thought it was going to be a 3 for a minute. I clenched a little.
Okay, so Lathander is the deity of many things. Creativity, dawn, renewal, birth, athletics, spring, self-preservation, vitality, and youth. He
Oh.
favors those who dispel the undead and bless those who plant new life.
Don't like him.
So
Oh boy.
a lot of like normal people will worship Lathander because he's kind of like the god of crops and that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's a very good god. So Belgara is going to like very respectfully bow her head to Gideon. Real quick though, Rhea didn't say anything bad about him, did she?
No, she just mentioned that he was a follower of Lathander, and it would be kind of strange for him to be doing this.
Right. Okay. So she like bows her head and says, I don't know where my mind is at. I'm so sorry, Gideon. There's no reason for us to be treating you as such. I know your God and I know him well. And she looks over to Takari and kind of like motions with her hand and says, Takari, come here. Show Gideon that lovely little trick that you showed me the other evening. Gideon would very much so appreciate.
Takari moves over and she looks at Belgara and, you know, palm upwards. She has like a seed and looks to Takari or look to Belgara and says, "The flowers?"
Yeah, show him.
Takari looks back over at Gideon and holds up her palm for him to see, and within the flowers sprouts out a small hydrangea this time. And she offers him the flower and smiles and says, "Flower? Do you like flowers?"
Gideon reaches out with his thumb and index finger, plucking it from your hand. He stares at it intensely.
Why are your eyes red?
Wow. Belgara
Rude.
looks at Aragoth and goes, and why is your skin green?
Why is... Wait, what?
I thought so.
Yeah, just making sure he's not possessed, you know?
I don't think he's possessed, Eric.
Gideon speaks. An angel visited me, professing the invasion of demons and the end of all things. I could not sit by and allow that to happen. Though Lathander abhors the living dead, it was the only way I knew that I could protect Elturel against the invasion.
The only way, what do you mean?
With the corpses of the Minotaurs from Bahamut, I raised them from the dead.
Oh, so did we kind of destroy your, like, defense by accident, I guess?
No, they were dead when we got here, right, Aragoth?
Oh, maybe I'm confused. I thought he said that he raised them from the dead to, I guess, help him in his plan to take down the demons. Do I have that right?
Bahamut has an endless horde of Minotaurs. More will come.
Oh, I gotta admit, it's kind of badass to have a undead Minotaur army on our side, if that's a possibility.
Gideon, you said you want us to plug the hole? Is that what you said earlier?
Oh my god. So forward.
The most forward. Plug your hole.
Aragoth is completely oblivious to these innuendos.
Do you want me to plug the front or the back?
Front hole or back hole?
Oh my god.
What's
Just
your-
ignore us. We're dumb.
It is below the chapel. Their portal. That crater that you see over there is how I've been raising the dead. I toss them in, they come out.
Glad we didn't throw Reginald in there.
Experiment time?
It would be a carapace. He doesn't have a skeleton. It would just be a husk.
That'd be so cool though. Think about it. Think about it.
Undead crab.
Belgara kind of narrows her eyes at Gideon, and now things seem a little sus to her. And she says, I'm not sure why a man who reveres a god of life would be so quick to animate the dead.
Would you do anything to save what you love?
Cannot say that I would.
We're two different people.
Yes, but if the things that you do to save those that you love are evil and perhaps may cause harm to others, not this give you pause?
If I do not save the people of Elturel, their lives are forfeit. I may be able to atone later to Lathander, but those people, they will be lost.
Okay, just to get everything straight here. So you've been raising the Minotaurs, and you've been raising them from that creepy-ass pit back there. And you want us to close the portal in the basement of this cathedral. And this portal is where demons are said to expected to come through. Is that right? Or do you want us to close your creepy-ass pit?
Close the portal under the chapel. I will command my skeletons to allow you to pass.
Oh, thank you.
How do we close a portal?
Belgara looks to Aragoth and says, "Wow, you don't know anything about closing portals? You can sniff them out like a dog, but you don't know what else to do?"
Well, they're such a strange ethereal thing. I can't comprehend grabbing a portal and closing it like a door, unless it has a door on it, and maybe that'll make sense.
Just kind of shrugs, like, "Oh, I thought this was your subject."
Yeah, maybe it should be. I should do more studying on it. Can I ask you again, Gideon, why are your eyes red? Is there some magic inside of you that's doing this? Is it a possession? Is it a spell?
It is merely a side effect of my current newfound abilities.
What are those?
Gideon points at a nearby skeleton. You see it slowly crawl to life.
Duro, is necromancy considered evil?
Yes, technically. In normal Forgotten Realms lore, yes.
Is there any check I can do on him to determine what he is, if he's just possessed or if he has a power, or if he was granted this power somehow? I don't know exactly what to check for, but
I don't think you could check for that. I don't even know what you'd roll for it.
I would think Arcana or something, but I don't know. I don't even know what I'm looking for. It just looks like, to me, he seems possessed, or just possessed.
Well, to me it seems, Gideon, that we're on the same team.
More
are we
the same goals, not the same team.
Right, our goals align for now. But Belgara, aren't we here for something else? Some sort of helm, right?
Yes, we are.
Maybe, Gideon, do you know anything about a helm that might be here underneath the temple?
Yes, the Helm of Torm. It resides in the crypt under the chapel.
Two birds, one stone.
Getting two birds stoned at the same time?
We might
Absolutely.
Be the birds.
Hell yeah.
We might be the birds in the chapel's his stone. Just be wary.
Belgara is studying Gideon very closely, kind of watching him and how he's acting to everybody, and she pipes up and says, "What can you tell us of the portal in the basement?" And after she asks this, she is going to cast Detect Thoughts. And she's not going to dig deep right out the gate. She's just kind of searching around for surface thoughts because she doesn't want him to know that she's in his mind.
So his surface thoughts are he's saying to himself that these people would be of use to him to get rid of that portal in the crypt under the chapel. And he says to you, in the far northern section of the crypt in the ossuary, a portal has been opened by Baphomet, allowing his Minotaurs and other minions to enter into Elturel.
I see.
Well, Gideon, thank you so much for allowing us, telling your skeletons to allow us to pass. What is the best way to get down to the crypt from here? The back door, the front door?
I'm sorry. Can I roll anything to see if I know about this god that he's speaking of?
Baphomet?
Yeah,
Sure.
just curious.
In response to your question, Nigel, Rhea says, I can show you the way. I've been there several times. Though, Gideon, I'm quite disappointed in you and your excursions. If you survive, I hope you change back to the way you once were. So, you've at least heard of Baphomet. Actually, I needed you to roll an Arcana check.
Oh, yes. Can do. Oh, ha ha ha! Woohoo!
Nice.
What a great waste of a roll.
You know everything.
Baphomet is a demon lord who rules a layer of the abyss called the Endless Maze. He was the prince of beasts and the demon lord of Minotaurs.
He's not a good guy.
No, I wouldn't say so.
No, he's a bad guy.
Oh, sorry. I said Baphomet. Wait. Yeah, Baphomet.
Belgara looks at Gideon and says, Oh, there you are. It's strange that Demon Lord would be randomly opening portals in other parts of hell. But who am I to know the dealings of devils and such? Hello, Blood Dove. Welcome. Thank you for the follow.
Well, I think you should be on your way now.
Yes, I believe so.
Much work to be done.
Oh, you dropped this, and Nigel hands him back his holy symbol and his paper that he was writing on.
And you have no suggestions on how we may close this portal? Can't say that I'm proficient in the arts.
If I found a way, I would have done it long ago.
Wow,
It's up to you
okay.
to decide.
Okay. Freaking smart ass.
That's the same thing I was thinking. Fucking smart ass.
Jeez, Pete's.
I love it. I love Gideon already.
Well, before they take off, Takari offers Gideon up another flower for him to take. Just another, bloom of hydrangeas.
Don't throw that in your undead hole, you weirdo. Clearly, I'm saying none of this in character.
No, but Belgara might be thinking it.
Oh yeah, I'm totally thinking it.
Yeah.
Well, Nigel, we know there's a front door. I guess we should check around the back door, make our way in.
Because my detect thoughts
Does Gideon take the
last.
flower? It's really important to me that he does.
I'm laughing.
Okay. Which way would you want to enter? Is it the main room or the back door?
Well, my rogue side says the back door, but I'm going to follow Rhea's lead since she said that she knows the best way. So.
Yeah, especially with Gideon saying that we have safe passage through the chapel now, since he deactivated his skeleton army.
He just pushed a little button. It went pew.
Yeah, it
I like
powered
the
him
idea.
down for a while.
Yeah, I like the idea of a skeleton army just powering down and making that little sound.
Yes.
I'm imagining us walking through the cathedral and they just kind of notice us and so.
General bone rattling.
Rhea speaks to the group. Let us go through the front door, seeing as it's already opened.
Boring.
Takari toodles along.
Yeah, I'd rather have the options, you know? He whispers to Nigel as he walks by.
For sure.
Okay, let me explain what you see here. The smashed remnants of fine furniture and the remains of stained glass windows are strewn across this area. Sections of one huge stained glass window remains intact, enough so that its subject can still be made out. The window once portrayed Lathander standing amid fallen soldiers, holding his hands aloft as the spirits of the dead rise to stand at his side. And then you also see 3 skeletal Minotaurs and 3 fallen Elturellian soldiers. They are standing about, but they do not take notice of you.
They're in standby mode, right? They're not gonna attack us. Ergoth kind of puts his hands on his both of his sickles just in case. And he's gonna go up to one of the Minotaurs and first he's gonna equip his shield, and he has one. He has the Sacred Valsider slaying on him, and he's gonna walk up to the Minotaur and just kind of eye it to see what it does.
It stands motionless as you approach it.
Okay, cool.
Takari's gonna say to Aragoth, leave the Skelly boys alone.
Hey, just making sure, you know.
Okay.
Working
Rhea
it,
pulls
Rhea.
back the curtain. Is it lit in here?
Yep.
Okay. 3 curtains, archways connect this chamber to the other areas of the chapel. shattered wardrobes and dressing tables, as well as a number of smashed mirrors, suggest this was once where priests prepared for their daily services. Spiral stairs leading down are guided by two creatures with insectoid features. Each one is armed with a wicked trident.
Balgara thinks in her head, oh, are these relatives of ruins? Certainly doesn't say that out loud.
Oh no.
Coward.
Yes, I am. Not trying to fuck with you, bud.
No.
I've seen how you stealth.
Clink, clunk, clink.
Hey, everybody, am I stealth?
Duro, you said this is where they prepare for services. So there's wardrobes here.
Yes. Of the various gods, you got Torm, Lathander, Tyr, someone else I mentioned before, I forget.
Not just gonna like peek into the wardrobes and see if there's anything interesting in them.
Yeah, you find a variety of clothing of various sizes.
Probably not useful. Okay.
As you enter this area, a cacophony erupts from below, and 6 creatures rush from the stairs. A fiendish giant scorpion trailed by 5 ugly wretches.
Oh boy.
Oh crap.
Yay.
Ariel runs away.
I'm gonna say that those wretches are not ugly. They are in fact adorable goofballs.
They're not bad looking. They're pretty cute.
Look at those little faces. Look at those ears.
They're gonna die.
No, I know.
Jesus.
They are supposed to be like dogs that are like they're also, I think, on 4 legs too.
Oh, stop making them cuter for me.
Does this mean that I can speak to them? Can Takari talk to them?
Little Satan puppies.
Oh.
Well, Takari could. You know these as... Actually, no, you wouldn't, because these are actually demons.
Oh, Takari does speak, she speaks Abyssal as well. She speaks Abyssal, Bullywug, Infernal, and Elvish. In common.
Okay. So, I guess you could.
For being a dummy idiot, she's very cultured.
Yeah. She could speak to puppies of the Dark Lord. I'm into it.
Yeah.
Look at all those puppy boys.
Yeah. Can I? No, I don't want to waste that spell slot, though.
I mean, I don't know if there's many other animals in hell anyway. It might be
I know, but there's other spells that I can be using.
Oh yeah.
You know, like Hunter's Mark or Thunder Wave. That could also might be a little bit useful. Just a little bit.
Alright, roll initiative.
Oh crap.
Zero's over our shit.
Aye, Captain.
Oh wow, try not to roll too high, guys.
I'm only allowed 1 initiative roll over 5 every night, and I already did that, so.
Yeah. It's alright. Maybe if you were nice to Takari and her flowers, maybe you would roll higher. Who knows?
Yep. We all know that's a myth.
Shh. We can pretend. A girl can believe, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Accidentally linked stats in Discord. I don't want to do that. Alright.
Thanks.
Who's going first? Scorpion.
What are those things in front of us?
Bugs.
Let's see. So they are insectoid-like creatures. Someone could roll to see what you know about them. Someone who knows Arcana, or let's see.
I'll roll my very average Arcana.
Someone who knows about fiends.
Oh, I know a thing or
Oh.
two about that.
Oh.
I'm rolling Arcana. Don't know shit about them.
All right, Belgara. Argos, you were close, but you don't know. So these are called Mesoloths. They are the lowest ranking of Yugoloths, and they are essentially mercenaries who work on the side of both devils and demons. So whoever pays them the most will be on their side.
Oh.
Does that mean us?
So they haven't attacked you yet, so you could assume that they are one of Gideon's henchmen.
I'll take it.
I don't know. See, I'm seeing the tridents, and I'm just like, gosh, Ruin, I didn't know you had so many nieces, nephews.
Yeah, the association is strong.
Yeah, I can see it. The eyes. It's in the eyes.
All 28 of them.
Yep.
What's that one word that somebody made up that's the word for both nieces and nephews? Isn't there a word for that?
Knife fuse.
Knife fuse. A fuse.
I think I remember it being one syllable.
And then here's the part where Duro TPKs us with a giant scorpion because he's tired of listening to us.
Yep, I'm ready.
True. All right. Scorpion will be attacking this Mesoloth in front of us.
Oh, not the little baby.
Oh my god, it's not us because he crit.
Yeah, yeah, he did. Yeah, that's a lot of pinching and stinging.
Yeah. It's not very good.
Yeah, this Mesoloth is messed up already. 29 damage in one turn.
Damn.
All right, it is the demon's turn, who will run through the skeletal, the scorpion, to get around the party.
Oh.
Bad puppy man. I can't get over their little puppy faces.
All right, so we got one on. Let's see. Actually, they will all release a sticky, fetid cloud in the area.
That sounds like one of my dog's special abilities.
Yeah.
So anyone who starts their turn within 10 feet of wherever they're standing will need to roll a Constitution saving throw. All right, Nigel, you're up first. Roll that Constitution saving throw.
I'm fucked.
Shit.
Shit.
You have become affected by the poisonous gas. While you're poisoned, you can take an action or a bonus action, not both, and you cannot take reactions.
Damn, that is awful. Okay. How do I overcome the effects of the poison?
You do not get a save on your turn, but there's other ways you could. Let's see. Oh, okay. You are poisoned until the start of your next turn, you won't be affected as long as you're out of the poison.
Then Nigel is going to. I need to get out of this, so I'm going to disengage.
So, let's see. The only safe spot is from the poison is here and over in this area.
What about on top of the wardrobe? Can I not climb on top of the wardrobe and get out of range?
Yeah, you can.
So I'll be perched up here and out of the fetid cloud. But you said I can't take a bonus action, right?
No bonus action, no reactions.
So looks like I can't use my cunning action then. Correct. I cannot take a bonus action, so that's all I can do now.
Correct. Well, you can attack too.
And I can't attack because I did disengage to get away from them.
Yep. It is Takari's turn. Go ahead and roll your con save. Okay, you save. You're not poisoned.
Good.
But if you stay where you are, you will be poisoned next turn.
Well, Takari's gonna. Am I safe over here? Or do I need to go back further a little bit?
You need to, move over here.
Okay, Takari's gonna do
over
that.
here.
Nope, she's good. She's good right here. And she is good. Is the you said the scorp?
1 second. You will provoke an attack of opportunity from
Shit.
this one right here.
Unfortunate. Well, get to whacking, I guess. That hits, I think.
Okay, take 6 damage.
Got it.
Go ahead and take your turn.
And then he is a fiend, correct?
No, it is a regular giant scorpion.
Oh, unfortunate. That's fine. Takari is still just gonna hit pew pew. Oof.
You are going to hit.
Oh, nice.
You're attacking the scorpion?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's gonna go ahead and hit again with him. Oh, she's not gonna hit that.
Yeah, you're right. It is Reginald's turn. Who needs to make a con save?
Okay, hold on. Let me do that. Let me switch character sheet.
Reginald is poisoned.
That's unfortunate. He can still attack, though, right?
Yes.
He's gonna do Binding Strike on green.
Okay. You slay the demon.
Holy shit!
They weak.
I guess so. Is Reginald able to move then?
Let me see.
Even though he...
Yes, he can.
Okay, he's gonna move back here with Takari.
Okay, there goes. You need to make a save.
Yep, it's within 10 feet, right?
Yes.
Eesh.
Alright, you do not save.
Can I use my inspiration for that?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, you save.
oh, nice. Okay. Ergoth is gonna shout, "Get the hell out of here!" And he's gonna kind of move back towards his newfound skeletal buddies, hoping that they're gonna do something. Probably not. Right there. And then I kind of don't want to waste arrows anymore because I'm running low. But I think I'll do that. I'm just gonna do just a regular longbow attack on purple.
Oh, thanks for the pick, Duro.
Okay, purple. Where are you, purple?
It's right in front of Belgara.
Okay, you slay purple.
Oh, nice. All right. Maybe might be worth using my bows then. I'll aim for orange with my second attack. Bonus action, Planar Warrior. Oh, he's dead.
And you
How much health do
slay.
they have?
They are.
Very
So I'm
weak.
using these as minions, which
Oh, okay.
they have 1 HP.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they like automatically save AoE attacks. If there's like a half save, they automatically save that and don't take damage. So they're just like little minions that you throw in.
Ergoth is surprised by how squishy they are, and he's just gonna kind of walk up a little bit, see if he can get the scorpion in his sights. And that'll be his turn. Sorry, right here.
The Mesoloths are striking at the scorpion.
I am the man behind the curtain.
All right, Ruin, your turn.
All right, I got to roll, right?
Correct.
So I have the Necklace of Adaptation, which gives me advantage.
Oh, yeah, you
Seeking
do
Cloud,
not need to.
correct?
You do not need to. You're good.
Oh, sweet, cool. I'm gonna stab the red one with my trident.
Okay. You were going to hit.
Okay. And then that's gonna cause 2 additional lightning bolts jump from the red one to the scorpion. And I'll just roll once for those. I've got that set up to just roll one time, I guess, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, must be broken. It didn't show up, did it?
Nice Tombstone reference.
I'll have to fix that.
Yeah, it should be 2d6. But that lightning arcs to the scorpion and slays it, along with the dretch. All right, Bagara.
Yeah, I'm really
Yeah,
glad you guys saved one for me.
I need you to roll a con save, though. Okay, you save.
Woohoo! I am unaffected by the dog farts. I have known them all my life. It's just the blue is the only guy, right?
Yeah, just blue left.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw him a little spicy ball. See if he wants to play catch.
He does want to play catch.
Oh, yay!
Poor guy.
Big Alfarinos.
He just goes.
So Belgara is going to look at Takari and then point to the two little Mesoloth guys and say, you know how to speak to these things?
Takari kind of cants her head to the side, and Takari at this point does know that it's a fiend. Or a demon, rather.
So, yeah, they're fiends. They're not technically demon or devil.
Okay. Takari's she's gonna cant her head to the side and say to Belgara, I do.
Ask them how much their employer's paying them.
Takari will repeat the question to them in their native tongue.
I would like to hear you say it in their native tongue.
Takari says, and is it abyssal?
So, yeah, they can speak abyssal and infernal.
Okay, so she'll do it in abyssal. She'll ask them, how much is your employer paying you?
That's abyssal.
Yeah, but much nicer coming from Takari, I would imagine. It's not a
No,
bit broken.
it always sounds demonic, no matter who says it.
Right.
They respond to you. They paid us 2 silver coins.
2 silver coins?
No, silver coins.
Silver coins?
Do any of us know what that is?
Ergoth is hearing like this weird conversation. He like peeks his head through the curtain, like kind of like still in high alert, but like kind of confused.
Takari's gonna reach into her coin purse and hold out like various types of currency that she has, copper and silver and gold, and she'll say to them, does it look like any of this?
One of them reaches in their carapace.
I hate that so much. I hate that so
I
much.
hate it.
Reaching in his cloaca.
No.
No, not again.
They pull out a small black coin. You can hear faint whispers coming from it.
That is fucking horrifying that his coin's speaking.
Can I do an arcana on it? Or insight or something?
Are you proficient with Arcana?
I don't have any bonuses to it in flat 0 arcana.
You wouldn't know then.
I'm proficient with Arcana.
Okay.
And I am looking at them things like,
is
what?
Takari trying to say?
Takari's gonna ask it if she can hold one.
The creature hands you over the coin.
She's gonna hold it up into her face, and then she'll hold it up to Belgara and say, 2 of these.
Ruin will pipe up and say, I have something similar.
Oh?
He's going to pull out a couple of copper pieces and cast thaumaturgy on them to make them give ominous whispers and hand them over to the guys.
So out of character, these are like soul coins, right? Are they paid in like souls or something?
So you'll need to roll an Arcana to figure that out, but you do notice who has held the Infernal puzzle box?
I have.
A Ruin has.
Nigel has.
You three recognize that the coin is made from the same infernal iron as the puzzle box.
Wild.
Takari will place the coin back in his hand and say, "Thank you very much for your help." And she'll relay back to Belgar with a shrug. 2 of those, I guess.
Belgara's gonna pull out 2 gold pieces and hand each of them a gold piece and look at Takari and say, "Tell them they work for us now."
Takari will look back at him. She's primarily speaking to Blue and says, "My friend here is offering you employment for us. Are you interested?"
In my head, they're both fucking Brack from Space Ghost Coast to Coast, just so you guys
who I
know.
was imagining.
They're both Brack.
Look at them.
Oh my god.
The creatures, they look, so they take the coins, but then instantly just drop them on the floor
Oh god, okay.
with their little insect claws.
Pause.
All right, did anyone actually want to roll Arcana to see what they know about these?
Yeah, I will, for sure. I'm proficient in it.
So Bagar knows a little bit about them, not a whole lot. They are coins infused with a immortal soul. What the demons and devils do with them, you don't know. You just know that they exist and they do something with them.
Interesting. Belgar just sighs, and she collects her coins and puts them back into the purse at her side. And says, well, unfortunately, we don't have any souls to pay them. So, and they don't like gold. It would be nice to have them on our side, I would assume. I mean, look at them. And she just kind of stares at them for a minute, like lost in thought.
Ergo is gonna reach into his pocket and pull out some of that jerky that he made a while back and kind of like dangle it in front of them. See what they do. Huh? You help?
Takari has a better idea than just condescend and patronizing them with food.
Hey, food is the best currency.
I like to think that Duro spent hours prepping really cool stuff for us, and then we're stuck on 2 bugmen. I'm so sorry, Duro. Know that we love and adore you, and think you're the best.
World's most patient DM.
God, really?
I thought you guys would have been here like 10 sessions ago.
Yep, well, that's us. We're basically the fucking Scooby-Doo gang.
Takari, what were you gonna say to Ergoth?
Well, Takari was gonna suggest she might have a better idea to entice them to come work with us.
Yeah, what is it?
Takari looks back at Blue and she says to him, in Abyssal, since you're helping Gideon, your master, and we're helping Gideon, your master, why don't you come with us to help him together? I'm sure he'd pay you extra.
Gideon, say, stand here. We stand here.
But if you come down with us, you could be doing extra work, and so you can charge extra. I'm sure it's fine. Gideon instructed us to go down to seal the portal. So you come down, seal the portal with us, and then you come back and Gideon wouldn't even know. How would Gideon even know?
You can hire me for 500 gold.
Wow!
Takari narrows her eyes and says, 200 gold.
Belgara has no idea what they're saying and is very deeply invested in this conversation, just like watching the back and forth.
You can trust me for 10,000 more.
Takari, is she taller than them? I'm assuming she's taller than them. She's 5'8".
They're actually 7 feet tall.
What the fuck? They're not little bug boys? Oh my god,
They're
I'm imagining they're like little bug boys.
It's fine. But still in Abyssal, Takari is gonna point to Ruin and say, and you can trust him for 100 gold and coming with us.
Ruin's just gonna tap his trident.
Good.
This might be a lost cause. Maybe we should move.
Is she relaying anything that she's saying, or is she just like deep in conversation with the bugmen now?
She's talking to these 7 feet tall bugmen, and she's like kind of like puffing her chest out a little bit.
Valgara just kind of goes, Takari, darling, would you care to share with the rest of the group?
Takari just kind of whips her head over to Belgara. I'm negotiating, and then whips her head back to the bugman.
Negotiating what, my dear?
She says to Belgara, they're trying to overcharge us. Too much gold for, and she says in Abyssal, too little help, obviously.
I see.
Hey Duro, is there a way I can harvest a scorpion for like meat and possibly its poison?
Sure, why not? Let's see.
Belgara shakes her head and looks at Takari and says, I believe I have to agree with Nigel. I think this may be a cause not worth fighting for. I mean, a gold or two, yes, but if they're trying to negotiate, I highly doubt we'll need them.
Takari looks back up at the bugmen after hearing Belgara, and she thumps her chest with her fist as a sign of aggression, and kind of gives them like a grunt. And says to them, cowards.
Ooh.
And then looks back at Belgara and says, all right, let's go.
Ruin's gonna cast a quick heal on Takari as she comes close.
Whoa, that's a lot of damage. So do I have to roll anything for the harvesting or just?
No, you can just pluck it.
Cool. I'm gonna do
So
that.
there's only enough for one dose.
Okay. I also have a poisoned dagger as well, so sounds cool.
Thank you, Riven. Takari will say that very lofty, like,
Rowan will just pat his pocket full of flowers.
unnerved again.
You're welcome.
The group descends down the staircase, where you find yourselves in front of a set of double doors.
Belgara, as they're walking down the stairs, remarks, not to anyone in particular, though, and says, doesn't matter how old you are. I guess you're learning something new every day, including how useless it is to negotiate with bugmen.
Takari, like, kind of looks back at Belgara and says, tell me about it. She kind of, like, glares back at the bugman. She's very salty about this.
Alright, you arrive down the stairs to this set of double doors, which have been completely destroyed by the scorpion and the demons. You arrive in a workshop which appears to be where priests and acolytes prepare dead bodies for final interment. Rhea says to the party, "The helm is not too far. I can lead you straight there."
Let us hopefully not waste any more time.
I guess after the helm, we have to try to close this portal, right?
I guess helm would be priority.
Yeah, but I'd say trying to close the portal is a good idea, because he's got a lot of buddies on our way out that might get in our way if we don't.
Agreed.
To the helm, then?
Yep.
Okay, so the hallway in front of you is completely dark.
Not to me.
Belgara will touch the pendant at her neck and cast light on it.
Okay. Rhea moves forward and she takes the first right. Are you guys gonna follow?
Yeah. Belgara's gonna be basically like right at her heels so she can use her light source since she knows she's a human and cannot see in the dark either.
Argoth is going to cover the back because he can see it in the dark, and he's going to make sure that the darker areas are covered.
Yeah, Rowan will be right up next
Because
to
he's
her.
Batman.
Don't you fucking say it.
Takari will, I guess, go in the middle.
Alright, so you followed the hallway where you arrive at a rubble-strewn vault containing 5 marble statues atop daises. 4 of the statues are unrecognizable as their features have been badly marred by rock fallen from the cracked ceiling. The fifth is a finely carved statue of a kneeling man. Upon the man's head is a winged helmet. A large fine starts in the spine and ends over the brow.
Is that our helm, maybe?
So does this statue here.
Did you move the map that we're on?
Yeah, Duro, we're still in the behind the curtain.
That might be why you guys aren't moving when I told
Yeah.
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 Oops.
Help!
Whoopsies.
Trapped in the
Let me
staircase.
start over. All right. You were exactly where I said you guys would be. Okay, here's the workshop from before. And then Rhea went up here and turned right.
I can't see anything.
I have 1 second.
Blind.
Is that
Turn me lights on!
Rosie?
Ready?
Reggie?
Okay, here are these statues. You're going right.
Here?
Yep. So these are the 4 statues, and the 5th one is at the north.
Takari's just gonna march on in.
Nigel asks Rhea, Rhea, is this where the helm is?
Yes, that helm atop the statue's head. That is the Helm of Torm. We must take it to the ossuary, where we can commune with Torm himself.
Is this like a climbing up the statue type of situation?
Yeah. Who wants to climb up a statue?
Takari does. Really bad. She loves
Okay.
climbing.
Is there a book down here in front of it?
Yes, it is the rite written in the what is that called? In the Creed Resolute, which you guys have seen before.
Yeah, I'm trying to
It
think of
is.
what that's from. What's the companions thing?
Yeah, it is the oath that all Elturellians pledge to defend Elturel. It is also the
Oh, it's the contract.
yes, it is what doomed the Elturellians to Zariel's clutches.
Did you want me to roll for acrobatics, Duro?
Yeah, let's see if Takari can climb up this statue.
I don't like the way you're saying that. I'm getting a little bit nervous now. Nope. Nope.
There we go. Catch her.
Wow.
No, Takari falls over,
I catch her.
landing on her head.
Oh my god.
Can I like catch her by like the ankles as she falls so she doesn't hit her head?
Just let it happen. I deserve it for that roll.
I'll give it a try.
How much damage do I take, Duro?
Takari takes 4 damage from falling on her head.
Holy shit.
Ouch.
Poor little dome.
Alright, can I give it a try?
Yes.
Well, Ruin, you missed Takari falling on her head.
You try to stealth your way up the statue.
Yep.
That's supposed to be +5 to my acrobatics. I don't know why it's not doing it.
Okay, Ergoth, you climb up the statue and pluck the helm from its head.
Before I climb down, I kind of toss it over to Ruin because I'm feeling a little not as acrobatic as usual.
Sure, Rude will catch it.
All right, I climb back down.
As everybody is focused on retrieving the helm, Belgara walks up to the podium where the book is and like touches its pages, and as she's touching it, she's casting prestidigitation and lighting the pages on fire with her fingertip.
The book catches fire, and small bits of ash fly into the air as the book slowly burns away.
She looks quite proud of herself. No one needs to be reading that prattle anyways. And kind of turns around and starts walking back the way they came in.
Takari. Sorry, guys, my husband's yelling in the background. Takari's gonna get up and start heading toward the door, I guess.
You're right there.
Takari, she rubs her head a little bit. She like nods a few times. Says, "Beyond my pride and this splitting headache, now I'm fine."
Ruin wants to know who wants to carry this helmet.
Put it on Reginald's head.
Takari,
Ruin puts it on Reginald's head.
Okay.
Rhea speaks to the party as they approach. Come this way, to the ossuary. It is the most holy place on this site and will give us the best opportunity to speak with Torm. She heads westward. Then up here. All right, let me read what you guys see here. This huge chamber is lined with funerary shelves along the stone walls, above 6 bare daises, creating a display of dusty humanoid bones rising from the floor to the ceiling.
This is a crematorium.
This is where the priests finish their preparations for when the dead are buried.
What are those big circular things again?
They are funerary shelves. Come this way. This area is set with cushions and low stools of brown oak. Above an empty dais, the wall is covered with a mosaic shaped from colored chips of bone, artfully arrayed to depict scenes of funerals, the migration of souls, and the celestial realms. Lettering above the bottom of the mosaic reads, "Contemplate life. Death comes soon enough."
I just had a great idea. Because I have those candles that I found at that other dungeon that we were in. It would be cool to stick them on Reginald's head and light them so he can be like a little candle when it runs around.
Snip them. Are we going up north, Duro?
Yes, continue up north. You arrive at a shallow meditation pool set off from a broad landing edged by a low wrought iron railing. Wandering frescoes along the walls depict souls gaining the blessings of Lathander Torm, Helm and Tyr. The frescoes on one wall have been twisted into abyssal forms surrounding a shimmering portal.
Something's weird about that one.
Seems as though we've found our port.
Yeah, Ergoth's kind of like looking at it. Just kind of holding his chin. And he just looks at everybody and says, "Yeah, I got nothing. I don't know. I don't know what to do here." Is it like a rift in the, is that water? Like a reflective pool? Or you said like a meditation pool?
Yes, that is a meditation pool.
And like, is the portal, is it like a little like whirlpool that's like opening into something? Or is it actually closed at the moment?
So let's see. So it's yeah, we could say it's like a it, you don't like see what's on the other side. It's more like there's a weird corporeal kind of like so like it's all wavy. It's kind of like steam is rising from the pool.
And do I see like the inscription on the floor of the pool?
Yes, there's an inscription written in abyssal.
Wow.
Takari, can you read that?
Kari looks at Aragoth and she looks at Reginald and is like unnerved by the presence of the portal, but she's stoked that Reginald has a pool to splash in. But yeah, she goes ahead and tries to read the abyssal.
It doesn't say anything in particular, but you would recognize that it is a spell which is creating this portal.
Okay. Instead of saying it out loud, Takari's gonna look over to Belgara and tell her, "It's a spell. I'm worried if I say it, I'll summon something. I don't want to say it."
How are you speaking to me?
In common.
Oh, just because you said you don't want to say it out loud. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I'm sorry, my brain's not really entirely here. I'm doing my best, really. Well,
Can you do the mind thing, the link, and I'll tell it to you that way?
I don't think it will really change much, darling, honestly. I don't really have a dispel either, so anyone able to dispel things? Perhaps that could work.
Ergoth kind of had like a light bulb moment, and he looks at Ruin and he said, "Ruin, you can destroy water. Like, I remember you telling me that before, right?"
I can. I do not have that ability stored right now, nor do I have a dispel stored.
Takari can destroy water right now.
Or wait, I think it might have been you that said that, perhaps.
They
I know
both have that
did.
ability.
Okay. My idea here is if we get rid of the water, there might be a way to remove the inscription. I don't know if we could just do it like the old-fashioned way, or if it requires a dispel to get rid of the portal. And is this holy water, by the way, Dura?
It is not holy water.
Takari looks over at Rhea and asks, "Got any ideas?"
What's the bottom of the pool made out of, Duro?
It is stone.
Belgara, perhaps your shatter spell could shatter the portion the spell is written on.
Is not such a bad idea.
I also thought maybe having Ruin make holy water, if I give him a silver for it, maybe he can like bless the water and it would erase the portal. But I like the shatter idea more, at least to start.
Didn't you get some of that holy water?
Yeah, but I already used it.
Some. Well, I still have mine.
Yeah, I use it for Takari's protection from evil and good.
I'm curious of what Rhea's response to Takari is before I do anything else.
Well, Takari, your guess is as good as mine. My expertise are not exactly in defeating demons.
And you said that the spell itself seems to be written onto the stone?
Yes.
Belgara speaks up and says, "Very well then, I guess we can give Shatter a try. See if it does anything."
Ergoth backs away slowly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, make sure you do stand back a bit. I wouldn't want to accidentally harm you.
Takari's also going to stand back. Directly behind Belgara.
And I'm gonna cast Shatter directly where the portal is into the stone. And stone does have a disadvantage to the saving throw.
I don't even know how that works.
I know, right?
I don't
Me neither.
Sorry about that.
Is it that, or is it like, is it get dealt double damage or something? Because I think like materials do have a HP.
A creature. Oh, it says a creature made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has a disadvantage on the saving throw. So, a non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried also takes the damage if it's in the spell's area.
All right. I will just go ahead and say that your shatter cracks the stone floor, breaking the portal's enchantment.
Nice.
Well, that worked.
Did it?
We did it!
Belgara looks to Ruin and says, "Wonderful idea. Thank you very much."
You're welcome. Thanks for using your shatter. I'll save mine for later.
Oh.
I mean, I was willing to go up there and just like scratch off the inscription and save some spells, but I like that. I like that. That's a very quick and efficient way to do it.
Yeah.
This is going too smoothly. Nargoth kind of looks around.
Yeah, Takari's she's like shifting from foot to foot, and so that's it? That's all we had to do?
Oh, hey, Nigel, I didn't know you were between my legs. I don't think I have my detect portal at the moment. I think I used it recently after a rest, so I kind of wanted to check and see if it's gone. I don't think I can until I rest.
Belgara looks to Rhea and says, and the helmet? What do we do now?
Someone must put it on to allow Torm to speak with them.
Nope.
Reginald's technically wearing it right now.
Belgara's gonna go to Reginald and pluck the helmet from his strange little head.
I really like the idea of him communicating to Reginald.
And while Takari's not paying attention, as she plucks the helmet off, she gives him a little bit of crab meat from her pouch.
You're a sick bastard, but it's okay. I still love you.
It's a little snack.
I think crabs might be.
They are. They're cannibals. They're definitely cannibals.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're bottom feeders, so.
Yep. They're just thoughtless assholes, really. Even though they're adorable little precious beings.
Reginald is not an asshole, but he is thoughtless.
Belgara is going to approach the pool at Rhea's side, and she will slowly lower the helmet down onto her head. Getting two birds stoned at the same time, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell yeah.
Lethargic chirp.
I have given you a journal note called Visions from the Helm. It is a long read. I apologize.
That's okay.
You don't ever have to apologize for anything, dude.
Be right back. Just gonna read this book real quick.
Belgara receives her vision. She's gonna try and sneak a hand into Ruin's pocket to retrieve one of the flowers.
Good luck with that.
She's not gonna try to be stealthy about it. She's just gonna try and do it.
Ruin's just gonna stare at you and raise an eyebrow.
She's gonna keep doing it. He hasn't stopped her yet.
Alright.
I'm concerned.
As soon as you pull one out, he'll say, "Are you sure I haven't done anything with those?"
Sakari looks at the flower and then looks back at Ruin and asks, "What could you have possibly done to a flower? We haven't slept. We haven't stopped yet. I've been with you this entire time."
A curse is not difficult.
Takari looks back at the flower, looks back at Ruin. "Why would you curse something I've given you?"
Keep it if you wish.
She puts it back.
As Belgara puts on the helm, her eyes curl to the back of her head.
Oh, so I look super cool while I'm reading.
And she goes into a sleep-like trance. It seems like an eternity as Belgara is receiving this vision. Rhea says, "Something's not right. The helm doesn't usually take this long."
Takari knits her brow and looks at Rhea and says, "What do you mean?"
Usually it's only a few minutes, but she's been doing this for nearly an hour.
Also, we long rested for an hour. Sweet.
I already got 5
I think it's a short rest.
Concerned, Takari steps forward and asks Rhea, should I tug on her? Should I try and wake her?
I think it's best if we carry her back to Feria. She specializes in exorcisms. Feria is the old woman who you met in the catacombs.
Okay.
Sorry, does Aragoth know how his sickle of outsider slaying works?
Yes, he is. You're attuned to it, I assume. You're
Yeah.
attuned to it.
Yeah, can he take it and wrap Bulgara's hand around it and see if it works? While she's in that trance.
You place the sickle into her hand, but she's unable to grip it.
Okay.
Takari looks at Aragoth and asks, "Can you carry her back?"
He nods and takes the sickle back, looks up, and then kind of just like carries her not over the shoulder, but like, you know, like both arms up in front.
Princess
and
style?
Kind of princess style, yeah.
Princess.
And then he's gonna say, since she's not conscious, "Gotcha, milady."
I think she might have heard that one, and she might kill you later for it.
And yeah.
However Aragoth carries her, Takari is gonna like be close behind or close at Belgara's side, concerned.
And then he looks at Rhea and kind of like nods, just lead the way.
Come, we must go back to the castle.
Oh my god. Oh! Okay. I can read. Just I can read.
I'm proud of you.
See, I'm just gonna follow Rhea to the castle.
Yep.
Yes.
Rhea brings the party back to High Hall through the hidden tunnel.
Hey Duro, real quick. In the future, if we do something like this, can I make a suggestion for it? Because it was really hard to read while you all were talking, by the way, because it's like big and long.
Yeah, what is it?
That maybe you and I go into like a separate channel and you can read, so like everyone on my side can know what's going on and then pop back in and go from there. Plus, I just want you to read to me.
Okay, I can read to you right now. All right, we'll go into voice channel 2 real quick.
We can all kind of have a short rest while she's being read. She's also
Yes,
unconscious.
it'll
So
be like
works out.
5-10 minutes. Okay, it is just you and I.
Oh.
You didn't read it at all, did you?
Yeah, I read it, but it's like, how much can you retain when everyone's talking over top of it?
Okay, here we go. There is a darkness, a nauseating veil of swirling shadows, then a beam of golden light. The light slowly grows in intensity, and the shadows are ripped apart, like a cull parting your eyes. At the point where the light is almost blinding, it turns reddish and becomes hot. Dry, hot. a dry, hot wind. As your vision clears, you're standing on the field of a battle beneath the blood-red sky of AVERNUS. A huge mound of devils lies dead. Other devils still living are hauling bodies off the mound, chittering among themselves. At the bottom of the mound, as one last corpse is pinioned on a pitchfork and flung to the one side, the body of an angel is revealed. Her skin is porcelain white, her hair the golden light of an evening star, her wings blood-stained ivory. The devils draw back. Some of them are cackling, but one glances over their shoulder and suddenly drops prostrate to the ground. Others, too, follow the first. They follow the first gaze, throw themselves to the ground. A tall devil with skin of maroon and crimson, dressed in robes of black and gold, strides in amongst the scattered corpses. He is possessed of a leonine beauty with two almost impossibly long, dark horns curving gracefully from his forehead. The devil's eyes smolder as he looks down at the angel, as he pulls off a gauntleted glove from his left hand, revealing the talons beneath. He turns and asks in a smooth voice and of elegance and grace, "Where is her sword?" The call of gilded night sweeps over your vision. You are standing at attention in a ceremonial uniform in a small group of similarly dressed knights. Each has a small badge on their left shoulder, depicting a pair of twin suns. Before you, on a grassy field, are arrayed three riders wearing identical badges. A woman with dark hair up on a black charger, a bearded man on a white horse, and the angel you saw lying beneath the mound of corpses riding on a golden furred winged mammoth. Approaching from across the field is another mounted man, this one flanked by an honor guard. As the man draws near the trio before you, he brings his horse to a stop and then dismounts. The trio does likewise. A herald steps forward and announces, "Haruman, Lord Knight of the Far Hills, greets Lord Atlantheus." The bearded man smiles. "Hail to you, Lord Haruman, and welcome to Elturel. I am pleased to introduce you to Lady Yael of Ildeglen and Zariel Solar of Celestia." "And I'm Lulu," trumpets the mammoth. Haruman removes his left gauntleted and extended hand and shakes each of the others in turn. Escorted by Lord Atlantheus, he proceeds down the line. In a few moments, he stops before you and extends his hand. As you grip Haruman's hand, the vision shifts again. The red heat of AVERNUS sweeps over you. So do the sounds of battle, but only at a distance. There the trumpeting and shadows are swept away like mist in a strong wind. You see the angel Zariel kneeling in the dust. Lady Yael, arrayed from battle in blood and dust-covered armor, kneels on the ground next to her. Zariel is pushing her glowing sword into Lady Yael's hands. Lady Yael shakes her head. "I refuse. Do not ask me of this." Zariel smiles sadly. "You must go. I look beyond this forsaken day. One last time. I need you to dream a little bigger." Yael weeps and then, unable to speak, nods, taking Zariel's sword. there's another trumpet, and Zariel's golden mammoth comes charging up. I drove them off, but there's another group coming near. Zariel pulls off her left gauntlet and buries her hand in Lulu's fur, taking a moment of comfort. My old friend, goodbye. Perhaps we shall meet again, but I do not think so. I need you to go with Yael. Help her make certain my sword is not captured by the forces of hell. Let it become a symbol of everything we have fought for, even if it ended in folly. Let our deeds have meaning. As the veil of shadows of gold wraps itself around you again, slowly blotted out everything except the sword, still glowing in Yael's hands. Zariel's voice continues. This is the last thing I'll ever ask of you. Protect Yael.
Fucking who? Real quick, Doro, before we go back. Lord Elanthius, I know him. What do I know him from?
You saw a vision of him as you were entering High Hall, speaking to a dark-haired woman who you could assume is Lady Yael now. He was also the leader of the group that would eventually become known as the Hell Riders.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
No problem.
I think it makes sense to do the visions this way, and then, like, nobody else can see it or hear it, know what's going on, and then we can jump back into the storyline with everybody else and tell me about how I'm now fucking possessed by the goddamn helmet.
Yeah, I had planned something else for this part, so I was assuming you'd just be reading it and while we were doing something else, but...
Yeah, I think either doing it this way or me just going into another channel, just everyone talking while I was reading was, like, really... I couldn't read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. This is the only thing, like, where it's separate from everyone else, so...
Cool. Perfect.
Alright, I'll drag it back in.
Thank you. That is a lot to digest.
And we are back.
We did it.
You did it! Kari just kind of like sighs at Rue and says, "You'll figure it out."
Puts the flowers back in his pocket, gets up.
Oh God.
We're having some serious conversation over here. All right, what's next?
The party's heading back to High Hall to speak with Feria, who specializes in exorcisms.
Belgara's cursed! Gotta uncurse her.
I guess just like a retcon, this all happened while we were waiting for the the lady to show up.
I'm not retconning that. Oh, good RP.
As you enter the catacombs, Rhea yells out for Feria. Feria, help us! Help Belgara! Feria says, what could be the trouble?
Ergolf kind of like, while he's holding her up, says, I think it's the helmet. Ever since she put it on, she's been stuck in a trance.
I will see what I can do, but I must warn you, I've never performed this ritual. First, we need to prepare. Take the water from the pool to cleanse the altar of Torm in the main hall. Second, I need a powerful symbol of courage and self-sacrifice. The great sword of the unknown hero should do.
Takari will go and retrieve that sword.
Where can I place Bulgara?
You can just leave her right there.
Okay, so someone needs to get the water.
Yeah, Ergoth puts her down like while making dad noises because she's heavy, or surprisingly heavy. He's been trying not to pump her head in anything the entire time, and he'll go ahead and get the water after he puts her down.
Okay, so Takari, you go to the tomb of the unknown hero.
Nigel will go with Takari to the tomb.
She very carefully begins to pull it away.
The sword is easily picked up from its resting place. Ergoth, you take some of the water and you head up to the main floor of the High Hall. Behind one of the corridor curtains, you find a desecrated altar to Torm. It depicts various devils and demons.
We're supposed to do this ritual here?
No, you're just supposed to cleanse it.
Oh, cleanse it, okay. He's gonna... Is it like any way he can kind of like... He kind of wants to pour it carefully, like at the highest point, and let the water run down. I don't know how tall the altar is, but that's what he wants to do. He wants to let the water kind of run down from the highest point and kind of like do his thing, make the most of the water.
He poured over the highest point, and it seems as though the water purposefully moves around to ensure that it gathers all the stained markings on the altar.
Ergoth looks at it kind of smirking. Thinks it's pretty cool to look at. It reminds him of the river he used to live next to back home, or back at the Gulfendor Forest. It was barely his home.
Okay, so you arrive at Ferry again. Now please, hold hands and place the sword on the helm.
Takari will reach out for the closest hand near hers and slowly
He like steps aside to let her grab Vern's hand. Ergoth.
What? Why do you assume that? And she slowly lowers the sword while looking for like a nodding of approval.
Feria nods at you.
And she touches the blade to the helm.
All right, is everyone holding hands?
Yep.
Yeah.
Said that a little too eagerly there, Rowan.
Feria begins to mumble and slowly waving her ceremonial mace. And your vision goes black.
Oh crap.
Through the shadows, the sounds of battle intensify. Your vision clears to reveal yourself riding on horseback at a full gallop. And I'm speaking of all of you. The sun hanging high in the blue sky momentarily blinds you. Your companions are with you. On the back of a golden mammoth and leading your charge is the angelic Zariel. You're surrounded by a massive battle. An army of mostly human knights are fighting a horde of gnolls. A wall of black-furred gnolls crests the hill in front of you. Dozens of them, maybe hundreds. Zariel calls back over her shoulder. Guards! The flanks! I'll cut us a path through! Then she spurs Lulu to an even higher speed. The mammoth's feet actually glides off the ground. As Zariel instructed, she's got the gnolls in front. And a horde of them take notice of you. And they begin their assault on the army. And that's where we'll end for today. Again.
Ah!
Yay!
Another cliffhanger.
Love it. Thanks, Duro.
Awesome. Great night, guys.
Ah!
We're gonna be dreaming for an entire week.
I know. Kari's gonna be stuck holding Ruin's hand for an entire week.
I have so many questions from the shit I already saw.
If we die in the dream, do we die in real life?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger rules here.
Depends on if we're how deep we are in the dream.
I won't say.
I gotta know. I need to answer some of my questions.
But I will say that you start as if you are like fully rested.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
No leveling.
No, not yet.
Is this like Hell Inception?
Yeah, basically.
Hellception, if you will.
We need to go deeper.
Oh god.
Somebody called Hans Zimmer for the soundtrack.
So you guys will just have to wait till next week to figure out what's going on.
Thanks, I can't wait to spend a week in stress.